DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said her department and the Secret Service are now investigating former FBI Director James Comey.
And it all stems from this image Comey uploaded to Instagram. His caption reads, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk," with the shells displaying the numbers 8647.
The situation quickly exploded on social media. Tulsi Gabbard wrote on X, "James Comey just issued a call to action to murder the President of the United States." As a former FBI director and someone who spent most of his career prosecuting mobsters and gangsters, he knew exactly what he was doing and must be held accountable under the full force of the law. We fully support the Secret Service investigation into Comey's threat on President Trump's life.
Comey, however, is insisting that the post was not meant as a threat. He wrote on Instagram, quote, "I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down."
Oh boy, James Comey back in the spotlight again.
Dude, just go on vacation.
Right, go coach your girls' basketball
Haven't
team.
we learned
Something.
our lesson?
It's crazy.
Walk on the beach.
Well, the funny thing about that is this is not the first time he has snapped a photo of shells he found on a beach conveniently portraying his political ideology.
There's a 0% chance he found those shells in that formation.
100%.
And by the way, also with the thing, so one number is whitish and the other is black, and you can see it all. He obviously did that.
And there was another picture he posted, I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was a shell or something, or a piece of driftwood that said, "I'm voting for Kamala," or something to that effect. So it's just amazing that Comey's 2 for 2 on finding the pro-Kamala, anti-Trump messages on his beach walks.
Anything like that on a beach walk. When I heard of this story, I thought of my wife, who is not in politics at all, and she always tells me, do you have to put that on social media? As I'm about, I've got my phone out and I'm like, oh, this is a real banger or whatever. She's like, do we need that? Mm-hmm. And Jim Comey needs his wife or whoever in his life to be now, okay, I have a question. I think both things are true. This is colossally stupid by Jim Comey. Okay, you don't need to do this. Okay, number one. But number two, I know what the word 86 means. I don't use it a lot, or the number's 86. I don't use it a lot. I'm not hey, let's 86 this segment or whatever. But Kristi Noem and Tulsi Gabbard saying that this means that James Comey wants to kill Donald Trump. I thought I guess get rid of him in a broad sense, but it feels to me for me, these two things are true. Idiotic by Comey, overreaction. Am I wrong?
No, I actually tended to agree because I think for most people, the popular conception of 86 is in the restaurant context where a dish is no longer available to be ordered. You 86'd off the menu. But then I did some digging, and it turns out that term does actually come from old mob slang.
I was wondering where it came from.
Where they talk about getting rid of a rat or an informant or someone who is threatening the mob.
I'm Italian too. I should know that.
Yeah,
it should be somewhere in the genes.
And so I do take the argument from Tulsi and Kristy where they're saying, hey guy, you were the FBI director. If anybody should know the origin of this term, it should be you.
Well, and I will say, in the good for goose, good for gander thing, if Michael Flynn was walking on the beach and came across something that said 8646 and posted that, the left would be up in arms, right?
Sure.
I mean, there's no question about that. So it's kind of now I would say I think probably the left would be overreacting at that point too, but it's not as though it's so dumb. I mean, I remember when I was a young reporter, I'd always worry I just wonder if we're going to have anything to cover, in a week or whatever. And what I realized, and this is I thought of this morning, a prime example, human nature is such that politicians and people, I know Comey is not technically a politician, but politically related people, they're always going to be doing stuff. And a fair amount of that stuff is going to be dumb. Mm-hmm. And this is just dumb. Why do it? It's totally unnecessary. Does he just want to, I guess he just wants to be relevant? Is that
I think he's just your textbook narcissist, maybe. I don't know. He seems to love attention. He was always going out and giving these press conferences, whether it was about Hillary's emails or the Trump investigation with Crossfire Hurricane. He always wanted to be the one advancing or shutting down those narratives.
And you're right. And this is true. Right? People get addicted to the attention. I know people say, like, I just wish people would leave me alone. But it's like the worst thing for someone who's really into getting a lot of attention is not negative attention. It's no attention, right? And I just, when I see that, it's like, that's the only way that I could understand why you would do that. There's no way you would post that and think like, what to do? Like, I'll just go about my day. Like, you know it's going to get attention. You're the former FBI director.
Right. And I do think it matters that there's the context of the 2 assassination attempts on Trump.
Totally. And that stuff does matter, right? Like, this is a guy who's obviously we know has faced not only assassination attempts that we know about, certainly death threats that we don't necessarily know about, but we know exist.
And plots from the Iranians that were then prosecuted by the DOJ.
Why do it? I don't get it. I don't get it. That's my really hot take on that.
Up next is California Governor Gavin Newsom clearing his image for a 2028 run. We're going to discuss that next on Rising.